Whether this dino is friendly or not, our dino confronts it with its size, seeing what the invader will do next. Spawning at the water access and escaping baby Mortal Kombat, our Deinosuchus travels towards Foot Lake at the highlands. Nearly dying of thirst and completely out of stamina, the dino finally made it to the only water source in the highlands. After drinking just enough water to stop taking damage, our dino crawls into the water for a fresh start and quiet life in the lake. Hearing a splash to the left, the Deinosuchus gets spooked, but shortly realizes there is no threat. A Bepisaurus. These two predators coexist and sometimes form a relationship where a Bepi lures other carnivores into the jaws of a dino. Our juvenile dino stalks a Herrera, standing by the lake's banks. All eyes are on the prize. They won't even know what happened. A successful thievery. Nothing better than stealing a bullfrog to top off the dino's diet. Then again, the dino felt bad and later returned the bullfrog. It was far too easy being a trickster. Living in such a large lake coexisting with the other semi-aquatic dinos didn't really hurt the dino. Instead, it filled it with more life, considering a migration zone has not appeared in the past 30 minutes. After another 30 minutes, the Beppies nested with hatchlings, and the dino brought a crab to the nest as a gift. The Beppy eggs hatched and the hatchlings were curious of the croc, unknowing of how dangerous a dino could be. Luckily for them, this particular dino served as a guardian of the lake, a Beppy guardian. While stalking some Diablo Triceratops and Stegosauruses, the Beppies swarmed around the dino in wait for prey. Unfortunately, the Dibbles and Stegos were far too large for our dino to grab, and so it returned back into the depths of the water. While on its way back to the deep, there were unexpected guesses. What's worse than a solo dino? A pair of dinos. This is a territorial dispute. With no way of escaping, it was time to fight back. And with that, the Bepi Guardian fell to the pair of dinos. GG's. Deinosuchus are territorial predators. Fights like that always break out. Reincarnated in the swamps days later, our Deino was given another life. The swamps was brimming with life, the perfect environment for diet and growth. Tracking down some lion's diet, our juvie makes its way towards what could be a trap, or an opportunity. Other juvie dinos, tearing apart an elite fish. It waits patiently for the right moment to strike. A successful hunt. It moves the carcass onto land, away from unwanted attention. The carcass is now ready for the juvie, and it fills its belly as much as it can for resting and healing its wounds. The intestines of the juvie carcass did not completely fill up the lion's diet, and so the search for an elite fish continued. With it came another Deino, but it was much smaller compared to itself. Our Deino decides to move the fish onto land, making it much easier for the fresh spawn and themselves to eat. Being the larger of the two, our Deino fills up the lion's diet without a second to waste. Surviving in the early stages of life in the swamps, one should always take advantage of what is given, or stolen. Now with the perfect diet, our juvie groups with the smaller Deino and shares the Deino carcass from earlier. With plenty of food to go around, there was no point in hunting, yet. The carcass is a beacon for other dinos, small and large. Luckily for our Deino, all of the ones attempting to take a piece were fresh spawns, and knowing how hard it is to hunt at such early stages, it shared the body. Hearing stegos in the swamps, the juvie couldn't pass up the opportunity for a baby stego. Never call out to a larger herd or a pack as a little one. While still being a juvenile, the Deino is able to skim the top shallows relatively quick and stalks the baby Stego. A lesson to learn about the swamps. Never swim longer than you have to, and always take the long way around. GG's. With more food and organs to top off its perfect diet, our Deino has grown about 4 times its size from that of a fresh spawn. More and more juvie Dinos showed up for the Stego body, and luck was going to run out sooner or later. My companion was daydreaming and was stuck in an infinite swimming cycle. Danger took the opportunity to show itself. A larger Deino, subadult, appeared searching for food, and it was not friendly. It was time to escape while the larger Deino was preoccupied. Back to being solo. Hiding away in the pools of the swamps, our juvie Deino grew, only coming out to eat every so often. Several hours later, our now subadult Deino smelled S diet and was curious to know what it was. A juvie Deino, several of them. Our Deino could wait no longer. Curiosity in the swamps could lead to a short life, but it was far too late for that. As expected, it was definitely another Deinosuchus, right next to a nest of hatchlings. Taking advantage of the Deino carcass, it stuffed its face in as much as it could before the hatchlings' mama and papa showed up. That'll do. Time to leave before it meets the same fate. Surprisingly, the Deino parents never showed up, and it was time to go back into hiding in the pools. After several hours later, a tsunami hits the isle, and our Deino rests until the next day. Waking up after the storm, it was time to patrol its territory. Our subadult is no more, and is now a 50% grown adult. Later at night, the Deino lurks in the shallows, stalking a group of dibbles. They were far too large still, but perhaps an opportunity will arise in the form of a lost member. There couldn't have been a better timing on this catch. Running out of oxygen and getting low on hunger, a juvenile dibble falls right into our Deino's mouth. GG's. Although being an adult at this stage of life, the weight comparison is almost triple from that of a full-grown Deinosuchus. Our Deino isn't even big enough to pull its fresh carcass out of the water. And with the last bite, the dibble is no more. Not even the bones. After a long night of patience, the Deino crawls back into the pool for safety. Hours later, the Deino is now 70% grown, and is now more confident in its ability and size to fight off other Dinos in its territory, so it sunbathes the day away without fear. Unfortunately, the peaceful life in the swamps was back to square one. Another Deino has invaded its territory, an overconfident Deino. Our Deino slows down to regain stamina and pretends it never saw the oncoming threat. The Deino knows this area of the swamps very well. It takes a left turn to cut the invader's line of sight and waits. Whether this Deino is friendly or not, our Deino confronts it with its size, seeing what the invader will do next. Within seconds, the fight is over. The invader dealt little to no damage and had little experience in combat while in water. A Deino should always turn their head away after every bite so they themselves don't take a headshot. GG's. "90% grown, our Deino crawls out of the pool for elite fish. While hunting, they hear a dibble. Crawling over the shallows, the Deino slowly makes its way to the dibble, or dibbles. There's always more than one. Surprisingly, the dibbles didn't even hear our Deino re-enter the water so close and nearby. And it waits, patiently waiting, checking its surrounding in the water every now and then, but always looking for an opportunity for a surprise attack. Then again, those dibbles are quite far from the water. With the nightfall, the dibbles rest. It was now or never. Well, it was worth a shot. From the guardian of the Beppies to a swamp monster, our Deinosuchus is finally full grown. It lays to rest and is never seen again in the swamps. Thank you so much for watching my first Deinosuchus video. It took a very long time to actually finally get the footage I wanted, and I do hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please drop a like and consider subscribing, as it does help the channel grow. And honestly, I don't know if I'll be recording a Dino ever again, but I had a blast. And as always, have a nice day or night wherever you're from. Bye-bye!